Welcome to this figure painting time lapse. In this time lapse you can see me paint this painting from basically start to finish. I did cut out some of the video because it was actually an interview in the beginning, so it was jumping around a little bit too much because it was the guy held the camera, so it didn't work well with the time lapse thing. So it starts here. As you can see, I am basically drawing first with my pencil and doing gravure and all the things I would have done if I used a charcoal or anything like that. As you can see, I also work on toned canvas, which I always tone with turpentine, or turp as it's called, and raw umber, preferably actually raw umber from Winsor Newton, because it has a more neutral greenish color. That is basically the only Winsor Newton color I use at this moment. My paintings are mainly done with old Holland paint, and there's a reason for that, which I talk about in all my videos. It has the constituency of being like clay, and it gives me a better way to kind of build things in thick pencil strokes and building textures and all that. So that's what I do. As you can see here, I just sketch the flowers quite fast. First I just mark them with some brushwork, and then I go in and just start molding. Same thing here. You can see I just doing the first sketch here. This video was actually done all the way back in 2013, the first section of this video, and I had it hanging around, this painting, for the sketch, for many years, until I actually started to finish it 2 years ago. And I also just sold it, so I made a video on my main painting channel, Artisan Painter Knut Vikshåland, which you can actually see if you check the link in description, and also there will be a link at the end of this video, so check that out so you can see the whole process and hear me talking. Also, there are some other quite funny lectures by my hero Christopher Hitchens and some stuff, so you might find funny. Yeah, you can see I'm back to the roses, and as you can see, in the beginning it's more like a drawing thing. I use the background and I use the foreground to just keep on building dark and light areas. But I also can see I do not do any gazelle or any grayish tonish first sketch, as some artists for some reason do. I just start on this tone canvas, and I build directly the colors I see from the start. And personally, I don't even understand why anyone starts with a grayish toned rendition of the motif, because I personally think it's a gigantic U-turn. Instead of just going straight into building the whites and the darks and the colors and adding in that, I don't know. There's maybe a reason for it, but I don't understand it. Maybe if you go back to the times of Rembrandt and the classics, of course, oil paint was extremely expensive because it was basically made from the base up, and it was hard to come by. But these days you can go to a store and you can buy the best quality paint without any problem. So I don't see any reason to do a grayish griselle or whatever it's called. So, well, old Holland paints are quite expensive. but it's not crazy expensive. I think anyway. And as an artist, you also, if you get paid for your paintings, you can actually afford using better paints. And it's also better to use better quality paints because you get more out of the tube and you get better quality paintings of it. They become more vivid in the colors, they become more natural in the colors. If you buy for instance, I used to use Winsor Newton in the beginning when I was painting as a young man, almost 25-30 years ago. I used the Winsor Newton studio quality, and it's basically filler with a little bit of pigment in it. And when I look at paintings I did back then, today I can actually see the difference in the strength of the pigment. Okay, today I'm also a better painter, so I might do a better job, but studio quality, I wouldn't recommend it. If you want to do painting on a professional level like I do, if you only have it as a hobby and you haven't started earning any money from it yet, it might be a good idea to use some studio quality. Try to get the best quality studio quality. Find a brand who gives you the best paint. But when you go more professional, if that ever happens to you, I would recommend to go for the more expensive things. When it comes to the canvas, I use not the most expensive canvas. Actually, I use a canvas that is kind of in the middle, but I also use a double layer of gesso on top of the already prepped canvas to also both build some texture and get rid of the linen textures, because it can be very disturbing. The linen texture can be extremely disturbing in the shadow areas if you do figurative paintings like I do, and you want the surface to have the depth that you are after. So you saw that I was looking in a mirror, and that is a very good thing to do, because if you can't really see where the mistakes are, it's a very good thing to hang the photo, if you use a photo, on the canvas and then look in a mirror, because then you see the mistakes immediately. It's like kind of hanging upside down. You're also more easy to see the mistakes. If you have a model, you can look at the model in the mirror and the painting, and you will basically be more able to become an objective bystander instead of being totally immersed in subjectivity, which can actually totally blind you when you are working for hours on with details and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I recommend. This, as you see now, we jumped to this was probably 2018 or 17, to 2 years ago approximately. So you see now it's more better quality video. It is HD, and yeah, and I work with details, and it's not that detailed, this painting, but it is fairly detailed. It's not photorealism. I'm not a photorealist. I'm more like a Rembrandt type of painter, or more like a 1800, like early Munch or Christian Krogh, which is a Norwegian great artist or painter. I'm more in that realm maybe. But I also want to combine the Rembrandtish and the Impressionist with Vermeer and that kind of clarity. So I have a struggle that is coming up, and that is just becoming a better painter. And that is also my goal. There is no story I want to tell. There are stories I will tell, but that is not why I paint. I paint solely because I love painting. I love the challenge. I love the colors. I love the brush strokes. I love the music. I love the dance. And I love how it makes me feel. It really makes me feel alive. And that is also the reason why I would tell you to start painting. Because even if you just have it as a hobby, it's a good way to connect with yourself. Now, if you want to support my channel, you can do that by going to Patreon and sign up for $1 or $5. If you do a $30 patronage, I will actually help you personally with your painting skills and be your mentor and teacher, and do my best to answer all your questions, both in with Skype and videos and in writing. And you can also add me on Facebook, and you'll find a link to that in the description. So check it out, and I hope to see you in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this, and go to my other channel and see the full lecture.